Welcome to another left-handed upside-down guitar academy. It's been a long time. It might sound a little funny because I'm just recovering from a flu, but you can't get germs over the internet, at least not yet anyway, so I guess it's an okay time to go ahead and cover the main chords in the key of E major. Now, E major is kind of a tricky key for those of us left-handed upside-down people, so I'll go ahead and start off with the regular E chord, and that would be starting on your A string, 2nd fret, put your finger there. D string, 2nd fret, put your finger there. G string, 1st fret, put your finger there. Very easy to make your E major chord. So, piece of cake. So that's your one chord. If you watch the lesson on the chords in the key of A major, you should know your A chord, which would be 2nd fret straight across these three, going D string, G string, B string. But then I noted that I do the cheater thing. I just take the first knuckle of this finger, I just kind of lay it flat across there. So there's your E major chord and your A major chord, piece of cake. Somebody else in a previous lesson had requested a B7 chord, and that's commonly used in the key of E major, so I'll go ahead and show the B7. It's also commonly used in E minor / G major. So what I do for B7, I take my ring finger here, 2nd fret of the A string, and then I take my index finger, 1st fret of the D string for the D sharp that's in the chord. I put my middle finger here, 2nd fret of the G string, so that kind of forms the basis of your chord, right? And then I leave the B string open. Sorry, so I can show you which ones I'm strumming here. I leave the B string open, and then what I do is I take my thumb over the top here, and I make the F sharp, so we get the... So that's a position I use for a B7, so we could be a... And something else you can do is to keep that same position, put your thumb on the top here at the F sharp. You can also take your pinky and put it down here on the F sharp on this E string if you want to make it second inversion, so it can be... So you can get that root and 5th in the bass if you really want. So that's your main 1, 4, and 5 chords in the key of E major if you want to do it kind of down here on the neck, open chord type of thing. But there's a lot of other chords that aren't so easy, and that's why I said this is kind of a tricky key. So you've got your 1 chord. If you want to borrow that F sharp minor 7 from that A major key lesson, that's how I do that, right? So 2nd fret here, or not 2nd fret, that's 4th fret A string, 4th fret D string, those two fingers, and then I kind of just bar as if this is that A major chord, so I get C sharp, F sharp, A, C sharp, open E. So that's like, that's a 2/7 chord, but really, if you watch the bar chords lesson, that's lesson 2, you can do, you've got your E major, your 2 chord is your F sharp minor, your 3 chord is your G sharp minor, your 4 chord is your A major, 5 chord is your B major, 6 chord, C sharp minor. So you can do all root position bar chords up and down. Similarly, you can do some second inversion bar chords, like the bar here, and then you've got these fingers like that. So that would be your C sharp minor on the 4th fret here, bar across the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th fret, and then you have like what's essentially an A minor chord position above that. That's your C sharp minor. You can move it up here for an F sharp minor. And again, you can have your F sharp minor down here if you want. Something else that I do in the key of E major, because I don't like to just do nothing but bar chords, I like to do some kind of chords that leave the B string here the B string, and sometimes the E string, or sometimes the E string and then the B string. These top two strings, or maybe just the top one string, being open and jangly. So E major is a great chord, great key for jangly chords. So take, for example, we did our 1, 4, and 5 already. Something else you can do is you can do your B chord. You could do it as a power chord. So you've got root, 5th, octave, if you remember the power chord lesson, and then you can leave your B string open as well. Now those two are never going to be like exactly the same pitch, so that'll add some jangle, and then you can just kind of leave your thumb hanging here to mute the E. Then you can like maybe move that power chord up to the C sharp position and add your pinky or your middle finger here for the 3rd to make kind of a cheater's C sharp minor. Sorry, I did an F sharp 7 there as a secondary dominant. It's very much like that F sharp minor 7 that you just add your middle finger there to make it a major chord, dominant chord. Anyway, sorry, that wasn't really part of the lesson, but so yeah, if you want to avoid having to do bar chords, you can add these kind of power chord and power chord variation things. There's your F sharp minor. Same kind of power chord variation where you've got power chord plus minor 3rd. Something else I like to do for the 1, 4, and 5 chords, so you've got your E major, is you can pretend like you're doing a power chord rooted on the B note here of the E string. So make your power chord, root 5th octave. Here, if you do it from here, then you add that finger again just like on the other chord. It makes it a major chord, but then you're leaving these two strings jangling, so you get kind of this moving chord feel, almost like you're playing in dadgad. So those are all kind of some easy chord positions, right? You've got same thing, root, 5th octave, and then a finger making a 3rd here. If you started on the A string, it's going to be a minor position. If you started on the E string, it's going to be a major position. And either way, you can let these thinner strings jangle, and it makes a really nice sounding thing in E major. Something else, so you remember there's your F sharp minor 7 cheat chord. Well, depending on where you're coming from and going to, that can sound really good with leaving it jangling on the G sharp minor. So that's going to be a G sharp minor with a suspended 4th. I believe that's a suspended 4th. Wait, G, no, suspended 6th, sorry. Anyway, so if you're playing something like this, there's that's actually a B major suspended 4th. It's like I'm playing a root position bar chord. These 3 fingers are the same. These 3 fingers are also the same as that pseudo jangly power chord thing, but instead I'm taking this index finger and fretting it here on the notes of F sharp on the B. So that's the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th fret of the B string. And this is a movable position if you're doing major, so you can move it from your B suspended 4th down to your A, and then this E note is doubled here. And then you go to the other position. All the while you're leaving that E string open and jangling, so you can do your minor position. And that's that same position as down here for F sharp minor 7. Now that becomes C sharp minor, where your E is, where your third is kind of jangling in the top. So again, this, because it's kind of rooted in E, this key makes it so you can take all these positions and just move them up and down the neck. So we've got our root position bar chords, right? You can do the same thing, but with these cheat chords, right? With the E, with this top E jangling here. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Make that major. Of course, that's your 5/7 chord, the B7, your 4 chord, and then we've got these pseudo power chords here with the extra third rooted on the E string. That makes for a major chord with jangles. If you root it on the A string, that makes for a minor chord with jangles. So hopefully that was informative, and you can have a lot of fun playing around in the key of E major with some of these jangles here. There's of course quite a few more things that you can do, right? You can have your E power chord ringing very nicely, and you can have this pseudo first inversion bar chord. Various other jangly things you can do, but that's really about enough for this lesson, because I'm kind of rambling, but hopefully it was informative. Thanks a lot.